697, 698. Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Hey, I'm Kevin, and today we're going to be discussing the Civil Rights Movement. Let's get started. Today we're going to discuss a big part of the African American Civil Rights Movement, including Martin Luther King Jr. But before we talk about Dr. King, I know what you're all dying to ask. What is the African American Civil Rights Movement? Well, this movement was a mass protest movement against racial segregation and discrimination in the southern United States that came to national prominence during the mid-1950s. Okay, let's go. Martin Luther King Jr. was a Baptist minister and social activist who played a key role in the American Civil Rights Movement from the mid-50s until his assassination in 1968. King fought for equality for African Americans through peaceful protests. After Rosa Parks' arrest, activists formed a bus boycott and chose MLK as a leader and spokesman. After the boycott's success, King and other activists founded the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, or known as SCLC, a group committed to achieving full equality for African Americans through nonviolence. And of course, there's this famous speech. Standing on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, Martin Luther King shared his vision of a future in which this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. Later that year, King was named Man of the Year by Time magazine, and in 1964 became the youngest person ever awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Sadly, on the evening of April 4th, 1968, King was fatally shot while standing on the balcony of a motel in Memphis, where he had traveled to support a sanitation workers' strike. He was shot by James Earl Ray, an escaped convict and known racist who pleaded guilty to the murder and was sentenced to 99 years in prison. Now let's move to my lovely co-assistant with the 2016 Civil Rights Movements.
People who protest for African American rights today use the same nonviolent actions as Martin Luther King Jr. Their battles are fought on sidewalks, in courtrooms, and over social media as protests for equality today. 150 years after the end of slavery, black families remain on average 13 times poorer than the non-colored or white people around them. School and housing discrimination have been illegal for decades, yet many black Americans live in poorer school districts and neighborhoods that remain informally segregated. Studies also show that at least 56 unarmed African Americans had been killed by police in 2014, more than all other races combined. These protesters of today share a common goal with their ancestors to improve the lives of African Americans.
Okay, so that's the end of this round. Thanks for watching. And Upchurch, stay cool. This movement was a mass project protest. Now let's go to my lovely co-assistant with her 2-6 civils. 2-6 civils. That doesn't even make any sense. Dick Trace!